Welcome back to the channel. I'm Richter Von Doom, and today we're going to be covering the rest of our series in Mass Effect Legendary Edition, again with Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 swings for the fences. It amps everything up to 11. The action scenes, the combat, the graphics, the animations, the cutscenes, pretty much anything that you loved about the previous games is ramped up to an even higher quality. The Mass Effect franchise is such a unique and different take, the sequels stand out than any other game in memory. Each one feels drastically different in playstyle, tone, feel, look, and atmosphere, but also each one is a huge improvement on the last, and yet everyone still has their favorite inside the franchise. And regardless of the polarizing opinions on the ending of Mass Effect 3, I actually liked it, and I'm working on a video why I liked it, and I'm going to put it up in the info tab as soon as I'm done if you want to check it out. We have to admit that the menu BioWare had to deliver with Mass Effect 3 was gigantic. In the Legendary Edition, we got a complete package that includes all the DLC, the extended cut ending, the other graphical improvements, and minor gameplay tweaks that the others saw. It may seem weird to be covering this game again, but I truly feel like
Had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong.
So let's dive right into it and take a peek at where we started in the other series with the graphics. Compared to its siblings, Mass Effect 3 always stood out graphically, and this still holds true in the Legendary Edition even if the changes are far more subtle than its predecessors. From the moment the Reapers attack, the action set pieces in the background are so overwhelming it's truly hard to just stop and appreciate it all. Mass Effect 3 truly is the summer blockbuster of the franchise. The action is non-stop, the combat is smooth AF in motion while at the same time not skipping a beat in this department or in frames. Even in high-pressure moments, the explosions and the different flying colors everywhere make combat very intense, very beautiful, and honestly, very hard to judge what the hell is even going on at times. But in a way that still complements the game, the franchise, and the tone of what's happening. But from the moment you're slowed down and you land on Mars and are reunited with Liara, I could definitely soak it in and notice the upgrades a lot more. The textures on the skin, the details on the armor, the faces, and pretty much everything else just stood out. Mass Effect 3 is gorgeous. The action scenes, the combat, the dialogue scenes are all so seamless and stunning. It truly does feel like you're playing an action movie. And now that everything is in 4K, you will find your jaw on the floor multiple times during the remaster. Mass Effect 3's combat is a giant upgrade from Mass Effect 2. As big of an upgrade as 1 to 2 was, and is the sole reason why Mass Effect 3 is my favorite in the franchise. Transitioning from cover to cover now is way more fluid. The introduction of, or I guess better yet, the upgrade to the combo system along with the visual and audio cues make using powers rewarding and fun, if not crazy powerful. The upgrade to the rock paper scissors system makes the different and more diverse enemy types truly feel unique. Geth flamethrowers make you reposition, phantoms sneak up on you where clever use of squad powers and crowd control is a must, and giant elite enemies force you to focus fire to exterminate the immediate threat. We also have the upgrade to the new leveling system and power system, the addition of new armor pieces for Shepard, and a handful of choices for your companions, plus the giant pool of weapons to play with. Add all that up with how smooth and good everything feels in motion. This makes Mass Effect 3's combat just stand out heads and shoulders above the others. Even with the lack of multiplayer, which is, a travesty in its own, I found myself still having hours of fun just repeating rounds in the arena included in the Citadel DLC, which is a whole nother topic on its own. As much as I would love to see it come back, a couple searches online seem to point towards this not happening, but here's to our fingers crossed. Combat is its own reward, and the combination of different companions and their power sets, the different combos, are not only a blast to experiment with, but picking the right companions for the appropriate missions are even more present in the combat here. Let's not forget about the fantastic level design and the pacing of combat and how it weaves in and out of cinematic moments flawlessly. Mass Effect 3's combat was, and is always such a unique thing to see and play. Watching the gameplay improve and morph over the years of the franchise from the original is such a beautiful thing to experience. And now seeing it run at peak performance and such a high quality made me realize how much I missed this truly unique experience. As with the other games in the Legendary version, all the DLC for the game are included in Mass Effect 3. This is a great welcome considering the blowback BioWare and EA received for having a paid Prothean Companion DLC before the game was even launched, which was pretty outrageous even if it was developed separately. I mean, man, when considering the impact his dialogue and the way his scenes play out and the giant piece of lore he provides, it all seems like he should have been in the base game. And now that he's here, he fits perfectly, and Javik should be taken everywhere you can just to hear his reaction and his dialogue. So it's nice everyone gets instant access to him, plus he has one of the best power sets in the game in a really cool mission. The extended cut also provides more closure to the very polarizing ending. We get more information on your companions, what happened to the galaxy, what happened to the mass relays, what happened to the Citadel, and pretty much what happened to everybody else depending on your choice. It's not perfect, but it does tie up some loose ends, and it leaves some cliffhangers for Mass Effect 4. There is one piece of DLC, I believe, though, that makes up for all the shortcomings that Mass Effect 3 has. That's the Citadel DLC, which is clearly a giant piece of content that was obviously a labor of love. The story is hilarious and action-packed. The farewell and closure scenes to the giant roster of companions over the franchise is over-the-top amazing for some, and falls flat for others. The grunt scene had me smiling the whole time.
Handle this. Officer, this Krogan is part of a secret Spectre task force. Operation Fire Cobra Claw.
Watching Zaid lose it to a claw machine over and over again was another moment that had me rolling. And then of course we still get the scenes that tug at the heartstrings, which really do feel impactful and genuine. Top it all off with a party, access to the Silver Sun Strip where you can gamble, play arcade games, participate in the Armax Arena for gear, upgrades, and a chance to play with old companions. The Citadel DLC is the reason why Mass Effect 3 is my favorite. It makes up for the shortcomings on the ending, the gameplay, and some shortcuts they took on the choices. It's amazing that everyone gets to experience one of the best parts of the entire franchise now. And then we have the Omega DLC, which is another reason why Mass Effect 3 is my favorite. Fighting through the underbelly of Omega with Aria and getting a sneak peek at how Omega really runs is a giant treat for not only Mass Effect 2 fans, but of course fans of Aria, which last time I checked was every Mass Effect fan. Plus, we get new weapons, new powers, and our first and only female Turian companion until Andromeda. Finally, we have the Leviathan DLC, which doesn't provide much as far as new powers or abilities go. However, it does provide answers. We learn about the creation of the Reapers, their purpose, who created them, and why they were created. We're also given a chance to earn their loyalty and power against the Reapers in the final assault. Although a fairly short DLC compared to the others, it's still super impactful to the story and the lore, and again, should have probably been a part of the base game. The DLC from Mass Effect 3 is some of the best moments not only in the game, but the entire franchise. It always felt bad that those moments were behind a paywall, and the fact that it's all included in this complete package actually pushes Mass Effect 3 right to the top as far as my favorites go. All these DLCs raise the game to so many high moments, and to have them blend in so seamlessly into the base game make up for a lot of Mass Effect 3 shortcomings. Mass Effect 3 in my eyes is now the best game in the franchise, and some will argue that fact. But the improvement on the combat, powers, variety of weapons, the armors, the closure of I can't even count how many story arcs, the action-packed scenes, the backdrops, the top-shelf voice acting, the inclusion of the best DLC in the entire franchise. This raises Mass Effect 3 way above Mass Effect 2. Everything is cranked up to Michael Bay levels of action, and they improved upon every mechanic almost to perfection. And that is what a video game sequel is supposed to do. The Legendary Edition fine-tunes all those quirks, even with the controversy and the pacing of the ending. The inclusion of all the DLC, the smooth and rewarding combat, and the emotional impact left after almost every mission brings it right back up to the top for me. And again, thank you for tuning in. I'm Richter Von Doom, and don't forget,
Why it had to be me? Someone else